Welcome back. It's Tim and Julie Harris, and this is, of course, your favorite real estate daily podcast for real estate coaching and training. And I want to thank all of you for your great messages and direct messages you've been sending to us on Instagram with show ideas. And today's show is an inspiration from several of you who are asking us the question. And the question is Tim and Julie, I want to, be posting on Instagram and doing reels and whatnot. What should I be posting? And so today we're going to present to you 8 great, frankly, proven ideas, and it's called the Real Estate Agent's Playbook, 8 video posts to find buyers and sellers fast. So Julie, let's just roll right in.
You got it. So, first, YouTube is the most important place to post because your videos will then be searchable on Google. If you don't know how to use YouTube, guess what? We have a podcast that we did about that you can find on YouTube about how to use YouTube. So, no excuses there, right? On to our top topics for professional real estate agents: to post on social media, which, when done consistently, should create listing and buyer lead generation for you. But first, before we get to point number 1, and we're going to do 8 today, different videos for you to post. 3 very quick reminders. Number 1, permission. When you film any property, whether it's your listing or somebody else's, or even new construction, you've got to have written permission to film. Easy, that can be an email or a text. Next, value plus the CTA. In every video, each video has to have something of value plus what we call throughout our podcast a CTA. A CTA is a call to action. That's where you ask the viewer to do something, to call you, text you, comment below, ask questions, schedule appointment, find you. Okay, so otherwise, it's just like a public service announcement. That was nice. You've got to ask them to do something. That's the CTA. And last but not least, before we get to point number 1, don't overthink this. You don't need fancy gear. Your iPhone plus iMovie is enough. Remember, done is better than perfect. You don't have to get a fancy videographer, a bunch of equipment, all of that kind of stuff. You already have the equipment. You use it every day. Anything you
Well,
want to add to that, Tim, before we get to point number 1?
we've never used iMovie, not once, and none of our. We have
You
two.
don't have to. I'm saying it's already on their phone, so they don't have to do anything.
Exactly. You don't have to learn how to do anything, especially with the new iPhone that just came out. It's got the lenses and the whole camera feature on that's phenomenal. It just really is. So bottom line is, if you're going to be doing videos, and a lot of you are going to be doing videos, we want you to have a benefit from it. And that's where you always have to have a call to action. And you guys hear us do the show all the time. And what we do is we put our calls to actions in the show descriptions, which you should be doing as well. And yeah, from there, you're going to be able to have a lot more folks that are going to find you. Now, I'm going to give you guys, before we get into this, and Julie and I are not being paid to say what we're about to say, but I'm going to give you a couple ideas. If you're wanting, so first of all, let me start by saying this. If just you're not ever going to be getting any traction whatsoever, let alone leads from social media, unless you're unfortunately paying for ads. And that is the unfortunate truth. Even though people want you to believe that their social media posts or their influencers or whatnot, just because people love their content, they're promoting the content. It just makes sense, obviously. If you want someone to find you, you're going to have to let them know that you exist. And that's how the platforms make money. That's how YouTube and all these other platforms make money, is by getting you to take out ads. And so when you're taking out ads, you're going to then don't bother trying to learn the ad platform. Frankly, I'm going to give you guys the name of a company that we've used in the past. It's called Prod, Prodvigate. They're not a sponsor, but they'll run the ads for you, and they charge an average per view less than a nickel, 0.4 cents, 0.5 cents, somewhere in there. So definitely going that route if you want to expand your social media presence on YouTube in particular. Unfortunately, you're going to have to spend money to get people to see your ads. And I'm going to give you guys some other advanced tips here when you're going through this. I'm sorry, to see your videos. Use AI to come up with titles. And when you're asking AI to help you write titles, hopefully I'm not stepping on your points, Julie. Use AI to write titles and write your descriptions for you, and tell it to basically gear the titles and the descriptions towards YouTube SEO. I just gave you guys a secret sauce. Tell it to write for you. Use ChatGPT, and we've used it. We use it for all of our videos, and so does our staff, and it works fantastic. And ask it to, again, write a description, a title for your video, and you're going to have to put in some prompts, right? This is a video about 123 Elm Street. The house is a da-da-da-da-da. It's in this neighborhood, this subdivision. And you don't have to put a lot of detail. And then say, please write a great title for this video that I just did, the art and a description. And the target audience for this is going to be a prospective buyer or a prospective seller. in this particular market. And then after you've used it for a while, writing more and more descriptions for you, you will find that it starts to actually learn. And again, if you have a ChatGPT account, it'll learn you, it'll learn your name, it'll learn everything about you, and it'll actually start acting as your super assistant. And that's one of the amazing things about AI, one of the many, many amazing things. But look, do the videos, because if you're going to only do one thing on social media, frankly, it's not Instagram, it's not Reels, it's definitely YouTube Reels, and YouTube in particular. YouTube, and the stuff that gets consumed the most on YouTube are short videos, a minute or less. All of you guys can do short videos of a minute or less. And then don't worry about being a great copywriter. Go to ChatGPT, ask it to write a title for you and a description of your video using, essentially SEO, YouTube SEO, keywords, all the rest of it. It will then go research to see what similar videos are about and what they're essentially, how their descriptions are being written and all the rest of it. Copy those best ideas and then go and ask ChatGPT for the next 10 videos that you should be making. You guys don't need to be spending money on some, self-proclaimed YouTube coach, right? Just use ChatGPT. The information's out there. It's for free. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And if you are essentially, the way you win at this is realizing that your total addressable market in your world is relatively tiny, and that's good because you can dominate it. And I'm thinking of Lance Kenmore, Julie. He started doing regular videos, and he's in Kennewick, Washington, and his videos are fun to watch. They're not, really sophisticated. And he is creating, it's not necessarily creating leads. What he's doing is solidifying relationships with the centers of influence and past.
That's right.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's right. So he's doing fun things that people want to keep on watching. Then he runs into them at Home Depot and they say, "Hey, how's it going?" That kind of thing.
That's what it is.
Yeah, right. Which is in support of his real estate practice. So yes, everything you said, I'm glad that you shared some of those advanced player tips.
Yep.
So on to what to actually post. What kind of content? I think sometimes agents don't post anything because they just can't think of what would be interesting. So keeping it in the real estate wheelhouse, number one, market updates. People do watch that. Market updates should be posted monthly or maybe even weekly. I know some of our coaching clients will do a Monday market update. Again, a very short video. Break down price ranges and zip codes, report the highest sales, the average list to sell price ratio, days on the market, trends. Your board of realtors sends you monthly reports. Use their charts and graphs in your videos. Now, a spin on this, you just mentioned the Kenmores. They do a highlighted house of the week, something that's interesting. It may or may not be their listing. It could be new construction. It's something that's like, did you know, look at this really cool house. I know one of my coaching clients in Texas is listing a castle on a lake. That's interesting. People will watch that, right? Maybe they're not going to buy it. They already have the listing, but it's something that's going to keep them, oh, they have really interesting listings, right? So your pro tip, agents who consistently post market updates, what are you really doing there? You're positioning yourself as the local expert. According to NAR, 53% of buyers choose their agent based on local market knowledge. Your hook example could be something like this. Thinking of selling in Tampa? Here's what homes are really selling for this month or this week. Your SEO tip, use searchable titles like September 2025 housing market update in Tampa. And your call to action, if you're curious about what your home is worth, call or text me today for a personalized update.
Let me add something.
What would you add to that, Tim? Yeah.
No, those are great. What I would do is I would squeeze essentially your CTA, your call to action. Just do exactly what Julie and I are doing. So when we talk about our newsletter every day, right? Here, I'll give you guys a little newsletter pitch in case you haven't joined yet. So our newsletter is created on the a platform called Beehive, and you guys can research it yourselves. So go to Beehive, sign up, and then I'm not going to even ask you to create your own newsletter on a regular basis. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's simple, but not Tim simple. That's super simple, right? So hire someone, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, find somebody that can create it for you on the regular basis. And then here's what you're going to do. Listen to what I'm saying. When you do these videos, squeeze them to the CTA is for them to join the newsletter. And within the newsletter, you start creating these updated market summaries. You start doing the analytical sort of, CMA type stuff, and you publish it along with whatever your most recent videos are in your newsletter. And that is for your members only list of soon, essentially what's going on with mortgage rates. You can bloviate a little bit, offer your opinion. Oh, I'm not a writer, Tim, I'm too busy. Yeah, well, guess what? Use ChatGPT again. Have ChatGPT go and research what's going on in New Albany, Ohio, our old stomping ground, and have it then go and write a market summary of what's happening as far as what interest rates, what home sales are. It'll go and write the best, most kick-ass articles for you ever. You can write about things about Halloween safety or how to make sure your turkey's fully cooked or just all these things. But you can pack, it'll take you, it'll be actually harder for you to think of what you want the newsletter to be, what you want the article in your newsletter to be about, then it will take the time for chat to write a kick-ass article for you. And so what you do is you go to Chat GPT and you say, I want to write an article. I want you to do a relatively brief CMA of what's going on, comparative market analysis of what's going on in my marketplace. I live in 43054, and tell me about home sales, tell me about market conditions, new employers, effective interest rates, property tax, all the things. Write something, and here's my target reader. My target reader is somebody who's very busy, who just wants the facts, doesn't want a lot of dribble or filler. And, essentially that's what I want you to provide for me. And then it will go and turn out that letter for you or the article for you. And then here's the advanced player tip. Tell chat to write the article for you so that it knows that you're going to be essentially sending it to your Beehive newsletter guy or gal, and that's what it's for. So tell chat when they're writing the content that it's for your Beehive newsletter, and then all you have to do is copy paste it, drop it in an email, and send it to them, and they just copy and paste it, drop it in the template. Now the other thing is Beehive's got a lot of really kick-ass websites where all the newsletters will then essentially live. So your flow is going to be creating content that they want to watch. You're going to have to promote the videos in order to get people to want to watch them. Sorry, that's just the way it is. It's not very expensive. Set a monthly budget of 50 or 100 bucks. Squeeze them in your video and in your description to join the newsletter, insider tips, coming soon listings, new construction trends, how to get your interest rate down, whatever it is. Ask chat for ideas about what it knows people will be most interested in your marketplace. And then do the list of article content, video things that it's asking for. Stuff all that in your Beehive newsletter. People have to, in order to get the newsletter, they have to have opted in. Now, why is that important? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be building land, or don't be building your castle on land you don't own. If you're building on social media, if you're trying to build on Instagram, we got one of our other Instagram accounts just got randomly canceled for no reason. They won't tell us why. Who knows why? Someone probably tried to hack it. Who knows? All of that stuff can happen to you. Instagram just recently changed their algorithm, screwing a lot of agents out of all their work that they've been putting in, supposedly, all these types of things. But if you have an email list, the email list becomes your gold. Email is the ultimate form aside from calling. Calling is the ultimate, but email and having full contact on the folks that have expressed interest in your newsletter or receiving your newsletter digitally. You could do it once a month. You could do it weekly. That is the secret sauce going forward for the ultimate incarnation of real estate marketing. It's not branding. It's not advertising. You've actually formed your own community where you're becoming the absolute 100% de facto expert. And they have to double opt in to get the newsletter so they show the highest level of interest. Does all this make sense, Julie?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a lot of steps, but really it's not that bad once you've done it and you kind of get into the system of it, right?
I mean, here, go to harrisrealestatedaily.com or click on the link and see how we did it and do the same damn thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There's your cheat code. Okay. So back to our content. Number 2, model homes in new construction communities. People absolutely watch this. One of our coaching clients sold a house directly from doing this. Okay. Model homes in new construction communities. Become the new construction expert by showcasing builders' model homes. By the way, they like it when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Highlighting pricing, amenities, timelines, and spec home availability. The pro tip is to do this weekly for 3 months, and you're going to own the new build niche in your town. You can use newhomesource.com to source those communities and make it easier for you to find those. You can do a radius. At least 90% of you listening do have new construction all over. Some of you are swimming in it in Texas, and especially, I just got off a call with somebody that has just oodles and oodles of that new construction. You can use your hook as something like this. Is new construction for you? Here's a look inside. Fill in the name of the builder. Their latest model in whatever community. Here's a look inside. Showcase homes in New Albany, country club. And then just do like a 2-minute video showing the best part, the great room, the beautiful fireplace, whatever. And then your SEO tip is title the videos New Construction or Tour New Construction in New Albany, Ohio. Be specific with the area. and maybe even the builder. And you can repurpose this by creating a playlist on YouTube just for all of your new construction tours. That makes you the go-to person. Maybe somebody's just getting started. Maybe they're comparing resale to new construction. They don't know where to start, and they go and they Google. And because you did YouTube, the Google finds your videos. And now, oh gosh, Tim's really, he seems to know about all of the builders. I'll just call him. I'll just communicate. So that's for new construction. And depending on how much you have, you could do that. Maybe you go and do that every Friday. Here's the unintended extra benefit to doing this. You do want to know more about new construction in your area, don't you? Of course you do. That gives you inventory that isn't in the MLS. That's good for when you're working with buyers. You're going to be, touring even more expensive new construction. That's not first-time buyer stuff. People that are going there have homes to sell. You want to know your new build reps. I could go on, but we do have podcasts and we do have sections of coaching all about how to monetize new construction. This is just your gateway to get you fluent in it.
We talk about this in the Harris Mastermind that we've been doing. And by the way, we have scheduled ourselves for 3 additional masterminds. If you've loved this podcast, which thousands of you do, just sign up for the next mastermind. It's a 2-hour, very intense, focused training on helping you overcome the 3 biggest challenges agents are going to have in 2026. And guess what? The first one is lead generation. We talk about new construction. So just go to harrismastermind.com, click your day and time, or just click the link below and join harrismastermind.com. Again, it's free. It's a mastermind. Ask questions, participate. It's a lot of fun. Julie, to your point about the new construction, you got to be careful in your videos that you don't give too much information away. Like, for example, after they're interested in the builder, show them the information, whatever, but you want to get them to want to, give them an ethical bribe. And the ethical bribe is going to be the list of spec homes that the builder has for sale that are not in the MLS. But in order to get it, they have to subscribe to your newsletter, and then make sure you have the builder's list of spec homes that are always being published in your newsletter. You guys get what we're getting at here? Become the hub of information, the trusted hub of information. Make sure your newsletter is double opted in, because it shows an extra level of interest in what you're having to offer. Trust me on this, guys. It's definitely going to be what everyone's talking about going into the future, because all these other forms of social media, trying to get your, the likes and the follows, it's all obsolete now. It goes back to old school list building, and use Beehive, because it is, in our opinion, and they're not a sponsor, but it would be great if they were. So Beehive, if you're watching, we're all in. All right, Julie, let's go to the next one.
Okay, number 3, video walkthroughs of current and coming soon listings. Showcase your listings with full walkthroughs. Or, to your point, maybe you don't give them everything. You just, give a little bit of the best stuff and leave them wanting more. But this creates value for your sellers and also generates leads. If you're listless currently, ask your broker which listings need more marketing or which ones are the most interesting. You can always borrow a listing for this. Now, this next one, Tim, I don't know whether you have had any clients do this, but one of our coaching clients here in Dorado just did this. It was a very interesting idea, and I went to it. It was great. She hosted a media day. Now, this was with permission. She invited local agents to preview the home, film their own highlights, and share with their buyers. More brokers equal more showings, and her seller loved it. It was also a great excuse to really showcase the house, to stage it. She had, cocktails there. She had hors d'oeuvres. It was great. And she just called it a media day, but it got the exposure to the house out. This was when it was a coming soon. It wasn't, we don't really have an MLS anyway, but it wasn't really publicly available, but it really got a lot of hype going.
And that was a $25 million listing too. So yeah, I mean, but it
probably works better on something higher end than like, a 2-bedroom, no bath, first time buyer with no garage, but yeah.
Jules, a lot of the MLSs still do realtor tour day. Okay. Yeah. So if you were to take it in that's ubiquitous, but if you were all of a sudden reframe your realtor tour day into, like, you could just have office tours of the new listings. Yeah. Don't call it that anymore. Call it the media day and do it,
She had great turnout. I have to say, they were all very excited about it, and she just called it a media day. So your hook can be step inside this, describe the house, the gem in whatever neighborhood before it hits the market. Your repurpose tip can be to make your walkthrough into short Instagram reels, keeping it, as you said, Tim, to a minute or less. On a house like that, she could have done 20 of those, because there's inside space, outside space. There's a beautiful master bath. You can split them up rather than having one never-ending video that we've all had to suffer through, and then we fast forward to try and find what the backyard looks like, right? So your CTA, want to see it in person? Call or text me for a private showing. What would you add to that? Anything?
Nothing. I mean,
Okay.
other than, I mean, look, for example, what everyone wants is information about essentially things that are coming soon. And
Or
I'm
off-market listings. Yeah.
exactly, I'm going to keep on saying this, feed them all to your newsletter because then
Mhm.
you have a list. And when you go to a seller who's, thinking about hiring you or somebody else, and you show them the list, you show them what you've created, and your competition doesn't have that, and they're still trying to, impress the seller with how many followers they have on Instagram, you're going to win. All right, Julie, let's go into
Yes.
the point number 4.
Point number 4 is fun drone footage of listings and neighborhoods, showcasing not only the home, but also nearby amenities like pools, parks, trails, clubhouses. Your pro tip neighborhood lifestyle is a huge selling point. Buyers often choose communities, not just houses. I'll give you another story right out of Dorado, right? One of the amenities to some of the listings that she has is being able to be on the trail. Your kids can ride their bike to the pool. They can scooter to the pool. They can go to restaurants. So she's going to put a GoPro on one of her kids' helmets and have her ride her bike from one of her listings to show this is just a 5-minute scooter ride and, really showcase the lifestyle. People do like to watch that kind of thing. So,
That is an awesome idea right there.
yeah. So you can do here's what life looks like in Dorado Beach pool, clubhouse, trails, just steps from your door. And tag your videos with best neighborhoods in. Some of you have, neighborhoods within neighborhoods, be micro specific if you want to. But you can also say for your CTA, if you'd love to live in a community like this, reach out and I'll send you a list of available homes or off market homes in the community or coming soon or new construction. You can work with this many different ways. Make
Now,
sense?
just for the record, she's this gal in particular, or Julie's pulling these ideas from. You're thinking, well, that's a great way to attract a buyer, but truly what these all are ideas for are a great way to impress the sellers of
That's right.
prospective listings of what you're going to do that your competition's not doing.
Extra effort.
Because
Yeah.
the reality of it is in marketing, guys, in real estate, if it's in the MLS, if it's priced right, has good location, and has, those three things, price, condition, location, it's going to sell just out of the MLS. And all the marketing things that you hear about, they might motivate somebody to see your listing that was already going to see it because they saw that it was for sale in the MLS. You understanding what I'm saying here? So when it comes to real estate marketing, what you're really doing is you're marketing for future sellers. So gear your brain towards that when you're actually considering doing any of this. Stop looking for buyers. The buyers are going to find you when you have listings. Look for sellers. That does change the nature of how you go about messaging and how you think about approaching marketing. Buyer and first time buyer stuff, that's different. But in everybody else in every other price range, everything you're ever doing in terms of social media marketing videos and whatnot, your end result is looking for a seller, not for a buyer. You look for the sellers, the buyers are going to find you, just the way it works. Julie, let's go to the next point. Point number 5, open house previews.
Yes, that's right. So film a quick preview of your open house and post it across all platforms. Borrow another agent's listing if you have to, if it's not going to be your listing. Make sure you have permission. The tip is to email the video also to your database midweek and repost it Saturday morning to maximize foot traffic. Your hook is come with me for a sneak peek at this weekend's open house. You won't want to miss it. You can use Canva to add open house details, date, time, address, etc. at the start of your video. And your CTA is see you this weekend. Message me for early access or a private showing.
I'm going to give you guys again advanced player tips. So when you're sending out your newsletter, the best day to send out your newsletter is going to be probably Wednesday or Thursday, probably not Friday, because Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday is going to be the best day for opens. I'm just guessing, but I bet I'm right, because that's when people are making their weekend plans and deciding they're going to go look at open houses. And maybe they weren't going to go look at houses, but they just got your newsletter and they see this exciting new listing or whatever, right? You following me on all this? So think strategically when you're doing all this stuff. There's proven paths for you to essentially ease your sojourn up the mountain. Julie, let's go to point number 6, educational informational videos.
Yes, so you can teach buyers and sellers about key real estate topics, rate buy down, staging tips, inspections, or mortgages. A lot of this stuff can be evergreen, meaning you record it once and it lives on forever. These videos have the longest shelf life and keep generating leads months later. You can say something like top 5 staging tips that can add $10,000 to your home sale price. Everybody's going to want to watch stuff like that. And when we do this one-on-one with clients, we do this even in Premier Coaching, there's a big list that we go through because educational and informational videos, there are a ton of different things that you can do. You can use how-to or top 5 phrasing in your titles. YouTube seems to love that, the how-to type videos. And you're repurposing, you can turn your educational videos into blog posts as well, or email them, use them in your newsletter. Your CTA can be, got questions about selling your home? Drop them in the comments and I'll answer them in my next video so you
All
can
right.
get more engagement.
Again, another advanced player tip. Julie and I are rolling right along today. When you're using ChatGPT to help you write the descriptions for your videos, right? Do it in a numerical sequence like Julie and I always present, like point number one, point number two. The reason we do it that way is because it's easier for search. Like when you're doing a video, what happens is YouTube transcribes your video, and then basically it learns what your video is about. So it's going to read your description, your title. There's some keywords and some other, SEO stuff you can do. But the essence of it is it's going to read the transcript to see what it's really about. Because what a lot of times people would do, the cheaters, they go and basically try to just use description, title, and say, this is what my video is about. And then in the actual video, they talk about something completely different, and it would get past the YouTube filters. So what YouTube does now is they're just focusing on the content. And if again, it's transcribing what you're saying. Point number one about, how to prepare your house for winter, right? Do it like that. And I'm telling you, it's going to be fantastic. You don't even need to do a whole bunch of high-end edits. Edits are where you're watching the video and there's words and there's still images and there's maybe a little B-roll that flashes in. If you want to do edits, well, I would hire someone to do it, but you can frankly do it yourself. There are a lot of AI real edit programs out there. You just load your 1-minute video into the AI reel creator, and then it'll actually go in there and look for highlights from your video, what it heard you say, what it knows that your viewer is going to be most interested in. It'll pull that from your minute video, just make a 15-second reel, and then put in the words and do all the B-roll, the flash, the bang to make it really attractive. And then you then can upload it to YouTube. But again, remember, if you really want to get traction, you're going to want to, frankly, use that company I told you about to pay for 0.4 cents to get your video watched. If you have a choice, and this is the reason I'm not directing you guys to do long form videos. Julie and I do both long form and short form, but our YouTube reels get watched easily 20x more than our long form videos. But the better quality potential coaching client comes from long form video, because the short form video is just like a little drink of caffeine, right? Then you're off to the next one, off to the next one. But we have so many more people that watch those. So when we're making the short forms, we're hoping the short form is going to interest them enough to watch the long form. And then when they start realizing that Julie and I are the real deal, then they'll maybe want to engage with us in a more professional way. You guys get it? That's our funnel. But what I'm always doing is feeding them to the newsletter, and that a lot of you guys are in the newsletter. Hopefully all of you are in the newsletter, and we spoil you. So you're going to have to do the same thing. Give them a lot of high quality content that they're not going to find someplace else. And just also, when you use Beehive, for example, again, not a sponsor, just who we use, they will create a really kick-ass website for you, which will become the ultimate real estate website, because you're going to be having it stuffed full of perfectly SEO'd, perfectly created content. Where's all this go? We do not believe, neither should you, that there's going to be any future with old school Google, search. It's not going to happen that way. AI has already completely replaced search for most people. And, the only people that are still using Google for search are the ones late to the party. AI search results are so much better. So what do we know? How does this relate to video? Because the AI is reading the transcripts, and it's actually suggesting videos, and it's actually in its own way determining who's actually providing the most authentic content that's not just a big pitch fest where, you're just talking about your lunch or your dog. I'm looking for a home in New Albany, Ohio. I want to know about the crime rate. I want to know about the school scores, whatever. AI is then looking and knowing who's going to be providing the most consistent content. And that's going to be who's going to win on AI. Now, I did say a word there that hopefully you were all paying attention to. The word is consistent. And that's where most people fail, not just in doing this stuff, but in anything. I mean, Julie and I know that. And so we're not the smartest. We're not the richest, the youngest, the prettiest. Maybe Julie is, but we're not any of those things. But what we do is we outwork. No, there's nobody that's going to
very, very, very consistent.
No one's going to outwork us. We do a podcast every single day. We have probably close to 10,000 past podcasts. Nobody else in our space has that many podcasts. And we will outwork you no matter what. And we did that in real estate. We've done that in everything we've ever done. That's the attitude to have. Don't try to be the most creative, the most entertaining, the most informative. if you just provide lots of content, even if on a scale 1 to 10, it's 7 or 8 level content, you're going to win. If you provide level 10 content, but you're not doing the other things I suggested, who cares? No one's going to pay attention to it. You're not going to get any benefit from it. You guys understand? Unfortunately or fortunately, the content war is won through attrition, really, where you can outproduce your competitors. And just, it's easy. Short videos. Ask AI what to create the videos on and follow the roadmap that we just gave you. All right, Julie, I think you have 2 more points.
Yes, well, the next one might seem a little bit counterintuitive until you pay attention to where we're headed on this. Number 7, create a video called How to Sell Your House Without a Realtor. Now, who might we be appealing to here? Explain what goes into selling a home, pre-qualifying buyers, staging, legal forms, coordination, liability, lions, tigers, and bears. Great for attracting unrepresented sellers, who we lovingly call FSBOs, for sale by owners. But the title can be How to Sell Your House Without a Realtor, because maybe I'm fixing to be a for sale by owner and I'm going to watch that, aren't I? So here's your pro tip. Highlight the risks of that the for sale by owners face. And you can also use the stat 80% of for sale by owners eventually list with an agent in order to sell their home. That's straight from NAR. Your hook can be thinking of selling your home yourself. Here are 7 things you may not know that you'll need to do. And your SEO tip, use a local title, How to Sell Your House Without a Realtor in Columbus or in wherever you are. CTA, if this sounds overwhelming, call me. I'll take the stress off your plate and get you top dollar.
Well, you
Make
can
sense?
do it. Yeah, you can do essentially, like, for example, write an article, have chat write it for you about how to sell your home without a real estate agent. Put it in your newsletter. And then in your video that you're talking about this, you don't just do it sincerely. Look, not everybody needs to use a real estate agent. I run into plenty of people that have the competence and the patience and the, legal background, to do it themselves. And so I acknowledge that, and it's fine. And frankly, if I didn't have a real estate license in this market, I might even consider selling my own home myself. So here's what I've done. I've created a 7-point guide for you, and I'm going to give it to you for free. All you've got to do is subscribe to my newsletter. Boom, bada bang. See what I'm doing there? And then, do you have a relationship with that person? You're building trust with them. And the question is that you ultimately go back to when you're talking with the FSBO or expired that's being cranky, is you say, Mr. Seller, listen, I appreciate the fact that you can sell this property yourself. And frankly, you've done a great job positioning it. You got the right condition, you got the right location. Frankly, I think you're doing some marketing that's better than 90% of the agent market that I see out there. But let me ask you a real quick question. If I could take care of all the hassle, take care of all the showings, deal with all the inspections, all the legal issues, if I can deal with all the other agents, all the things, the dozens and dozens of folks that are involved in every real estate transaction, and the check I hand you at closing is the same, if not significantly more, than you'd ever be able to get selling the house yourself, Mr. Seller, why wouldn't you list the house with me? Of course you would. Okay. I just gave you guys a killer script that works in every market, but you could also make that into an article for your newsletter. All right, Julie, let's go on to the next one, which is number 8 was what I just said. That's funny.
Yes, you just read my mind. Yes, well, you could title it Why Even the Best Homes Don't Sell the First Time. Of course, we're talking about expireds now. Talk about why they expire, wrong pricing, wrong marketing, bad photos, showing issues, all of the things. And by the way, we've done podcasts about that specific topic, and we also talk about that in coaching all the time. But this is perfect for expired lead generation. You can use real life examples without naming names or addresses to illustrate mistakes sellers should avoid. You could even do before and after staging. A couple of my coaching clients that are really good with their staging will do that. They'll take an expired and they'll show the before pictures, which look like, you can even imagine, right? Sometimes crazy things that we see. And then the after pictures, and then a CTA, like if you'd like to find out how I can sell your home in less than 30 days, just like I sold this one, call or text me today. If it sounds, let's see, if your home didn't sell the first time, let's talk. I'll show you how I can fix that. Again, make sure you're asking them to do something, to contact you. But these last 2 ones are all about for sale by owners and expireds.
Right. And so as far as your newsletter, what are you going to call it? Think of something that says what it is. Don't make it complicated. Don't try to be clever. Don't try to be artsy fartsy. It's about housing, your name, Tim and Julie Harris's New Albany Housing Guide.
You would put housing in the title, wouldn't you?
Oh, hell yeah. So you do something like, Harris call it Harris New Albany Real Estate.
Well, ours used to be called Harris Home Report.
Yeah, exactly. And then we called it New Albany Home Report. So if you're gonna have to list build. So you can list build off essentially doing the videos like Julie just walked you through, but you can also put your centers of influence and past clients in that list. Have them all double opt in so they can actually confirm that they want it, but you don't have to do it that way with your existing list. Beehive will just let you load it. And then also, if you've got a list of, say, for example, all the homeowners in your community, you can load those guys as well. But the problem is if they are not, if they don't know you and you start emailing them something, they can mark it as spam and it'll send your sender score down to, and you'll basically, your newsletter will never be found because it'll never be open because it'll always be sent to garbage. So tread lightly, do your own homework on this. But all I'm saying is that if you have an existing list, that's in another little, some of you guys are spending so much friggin' money on some of this stuff that it just makes my skin crawl. I know some of you have turned your list over to these third-party companies that are doing this marketing and advertising and all this brand building and all the rest of it. And then they're then trying to get the people in your list to raise their hand saying, I'm interested. And then they're selling that lead back to you for a referral fee. And a lot of you guys are spending thousands and thousands of dollars per month on that. That is insane. By the way, Beehive, I think, is $100 a month. Running these little ads, you could spend maybe $100 a month. The video is free. Do the work yourself. Have more control. Build your castle on land you actually own. So the big takeaway is everyone should be thinking about doing this because at the end of the day, we want you to proactively lead generate. That's the tenet of all your businesses, or at least what it should be. Picking up the phone, having meaningful conversations. But the way to list build, or don't say drip, drip's a very 1990s term. The way to build a community behind your brand is through what we just described to you. And doing it via video marketing is just one of the many ideas. You can do it through open houses. You can do it through all kinds of different things. Load your existing list, all those things. Send them all to a Beehive newsletter and treat that Beehive newsletter like gold. It is literally your center of influence and past client list, which, by the way, that's another thing. How many of you guys are spending horrible amounts of money, again, having a drip campaign to your centers of influence and past clients, which you get virtually no response from? It's because what you're sending them sucks and they're not paying attention to it. They will pay attention to the newsletter. Look at our newsletter. You'll see what we've done. And watch it every day when we send it to you, see if we're changing things, because we do test things and we know it's working. Our list is like 25 or 30,000 agents. And if you don't open one of our newsletters after, I think, 90 days, we remove you from the list because we don't want to dead send anybody because that sends our sender score down. And we have usually a 60 to 70% open rate of our newsletter. Think about that. Those are people that know, love, and trust us, and hopefully you guys are one of them. So if you've not subscribed to our newsletter, to go to harrisrealestatedaily.com. And we have written about how to do everything in more detail extensively in Premier Coaching. We talk about it on Harris Mastermind. So make sure you click the link below and you join one of the upcoming masterminds that we're doing. We're doing 3 more. Choose your day and time. And yeah, we'll talk with you on the mastermind. In the meantime, have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you on the show tomorrow. Hello, thank you for having watched this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. And don't forget to hit that like button, leave your comments and questions below, and we will get right back with you.
Thank you for watching this video. And remember to watch the next one. You're going to love that one.